insights, picks, results. This is Wizard Sports Picks. Beyond the Lines.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Beyond the Lines, powered by WizardSportsPicks.com. This is where the sharpest opinions in the handicapping business break down the board with unmatched precision. This is your home to real analysis, real edges, and the strongest collection of handicappers anywhere. I'm Dana Lane, and this is your Major League Baseball report for Saturday, April 4th. We're going to go through two games that are really jumped out as give them to you as free plays. We're also, before we go, we're going to take a look at a couple trends that are starting to form in Major League Baseball that you should take with you this weekend. But before we get to all that, I'd like to highlight a few handicappers that are absolutely smashing the board especially over the last 30 days, and none has been hotter than Joe D'Amico, Las Vegas veteran, number one overall over the last 30 days, 60% winners, good for 976 units of profit. Over his last 462 plays, Joe has crushed 55% winners, 2,227 units of profit. Speaking of all-time records at WizardSportsPicks.com, Brian Bitler continues to bring it, number one overall with 56% winners over his last 636 plays, 5,160 units of profit. That is incredible. Bitler's number one in the NBA, 60% winners this season, 2,596 units of profit. Ian Cameron, right behind him. He's in the second slot as he usually is. 2,724 units of profit, 55% college basketball winners, and of course you know what he does in the National Hockey League. You could follow all of those handicappers at WizardSportsPicks.com, and if you want to follow me for Major League Baseball plays this weekend, you can also find me there as well. Let's get to your Saturday free plays with two run line options, starting with rotation number 959, 960. Toronto Blue Jays hoping to get this series started against the Chicago White Sox. Friday's game, of course, was postponed. First pitch scheduled for 2:10 Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 11:10 a.m. Pacific. Saturday it's expected to be windy, 16 miles an hour, especially as the game progresses. That wind is blowing out to left field. If you like to bet totals, we're expecting to get this game in, though. It'll be cloudy to partly cloudy weather, but no rain in the forecast. Lazaro Estrada will get the ball for the Jays against Anthony K. 0-0, 3.86 ERA. Estrada will be making his first start. And of course, he was just recalled from AAA with Cody Ponce going on the 15-day DL or IL. Patrick Corbin also signed a one-year deal with the Jays. That kind of went under the radar a little bit. And of course, Toronto has had the worst luck with their starting pitching. So not a surprise that Corbin has signed a one-year deal with the Jays, hopefully to help them out until everybody gets healthy. Toronto opened up as a $1.56 consensus road favorite, and you would imagine that number has been bet up, and it has just a little bit. $1.61 is now your number, but we have seen 99% of the early public money coming in on Toronto. Your total is 8.5 over minus $1.12. That opened up 8.5 over minus $1.22. So small movement on the juice there. We are starting to see, or actually we started the sharp money action. Just one wager being reported right now, Chicago plus $1.45. I do agree with that somewhat. We are going to take the Chicago White Sox, but man, I can't take them on the money line here, even with that plus money. But I am going to take Chicago plus 1.5 minus $1.25 as your first free play. Game number 2 sends us to Yankee Stadium for the series of the weekend, where the 6-1 Bombers host the 5-2 Miami Marlins. New York took game 1 in this series on Friday afternoon. Max Meyer 0-0, 5.40 ERA. We get the ball for the Fish against Ryan Weathers, 0-0, 2.08 ERA for the Yanks. New York opened up $1.88. That price has dropped to $1.85, not because money has come in on the Fish, but because the consensus number has changed because books are starting to put their number up. So no major action has been reported on this game. Weather report shows that the game will be played in cooler temperatures as the game progresses. But later on in the game, 7th to 8th, 9th inning, we're looking at highs in the 40s. Weathers was not sharp Speaking of weather, was not sharp in the spring. We've talked about that before, but another case of don't take what you saw in spring training and equate it to what you're going to see in the regular season, because Weathers was really good against Seattle, although he didn't last long. 4 1/3 innings, but he did have 7 Ks, just walked just 2 hitters, allowed just 1 earned run. So good debut against the Mariners. They got him out, let the bullpen do their thing in that game. But I am going to continue riding the New York Yankees in this series. But I'm going to get that $1.20 plus $1.20. We're going to give up minus 1.5 and plus $1.20 as your second free play. So that does it for your free games for Saturday's Major League Baseball card. Before I go, let's look at the numbers that are important to you this weekend. Sharp money, guys. This is why sportsbooks can't stand Major League Baseball. Sharp money is absolutely killing the book so far this year. Out of the 28 sharp money games that I've been monitoring, 23 went the way of the bettors. And of course, not every day has 5 games, but so far sharps are smashing it. I track sharp action. I track reverse line movements. I track these indicators to come up with this record, so I know exactly the difference between the sharp money and the public money, and professionals are killing it so far. So if you have access to that information, please use it as you will, because 23 and 5 is pretty impressive. A trend easier to track is the run line ticket percentages, where favorites have been strong early on. They produced a 500 record. You might think, well, that's not really good. Well, it is good when you're betting favorites on the run line, because we know we're getting plus money. That's been good for almost 1,300 units of profit so far. That's a little bit easier to track. Most websites have that information. One thing you have to understand, you might not think, well, 50% is not that great, but forget about winning 60% when we're talking about money line games, and focus more on the profit column, which we're all focused on. But it's funny, when we talk about point spread sports, we more focus on what percentage you're hitting. Where in baseball, it's like if you're hitting 50%, you're getting those dogs, you've done really well. So don't focus on the 50%. Focus on the fact that these run line favorites have produced almost 1,300 units of profit. You can get all my plays. If you can't track either one of those systems, get all my plays at wizardsportspicks.com. You can get a long-term pass in Major League Baseball, or you can get those single plays that are up there every single day. Start building that bankroll right now. Matter of fact, I don't want to talk about it. It's a little bit too early, but start banking away that money for preseason football. It's right around the corner, guys. August is not that far away. This is the time to start building your money, and you and I can do that together. Check me out at wizardsportspicks.com. You can also find me at Dana Lane Sports on X. And if you like what you've seen here or like what you've heard here, please do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. Once again, your free plays for Saturdays are 960, rotation number 960, Chicago White Sox plus 1.5, minus $1.25, 976 New York Yankees minus 1.5, plus $1.20. For wizardsportspicks.com, I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your wagers on Saturday.